Welcome to SolarScoop, where we dig into the details that matter. Today's big question: is your home battery secretly losing you $5,000 every 5 years?
That sounds dramatic.
Maybe, but it's possible. Your battery's value can drain away surprisingly fast if, well, just a few settings aren't quite right. Yeah, manufacturers talk a big game, right? 10, 15 years life, maybe 6,000 cycles. Impressive numbers. But the reality, how you actually use that battery, that's what decides if it gives you 6 years or maybe closer to 18. And the crazy thing is, it often hinges on maybe 5 settings, things you can tweak in like 2 minutes.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So today we're going to unpack the 3 biggest silent killers of battery life. And it's definitely more than just calendar years ticking by. We'll look at how those big warranties, think Powerwall, Enphase, Franklin, how they really work, what tends to go wrong maybe around year 7, year 10, year 12. And most importantly, we'll give you 5 pretty simple habits, easy adjustments you can make to potentially, seriously extend that battery's lifespan.
Okay, let's start with lifespan itself. Manufacturers define it a couple of ways, don't they? There's the calendar years, like that 10 or 15-year warranty.
Right. And then there's cycles, or sometimes total energy throughput, like megawatt hours.
And crucially, those warranties, they usually only promise maybe 70%, sometimes 80% of the original capacity by the end of that term.
Exactly. And that leads to a key point. Not all batteries that say 10 years on the box perform the same way in the real world. Just 2 quick factors. Think about a battery you cycle hard every single day from 100% down to almost 0. That's going to wear out faster, much faster than one that only does shallow cycles, right?
Makes sense, like running a marathon versus a light jog every day.
Pretty much. And the other huge one, temperature. A battery roasting in a, say, Texas garage in August. It's degrading much faster than one kept in a cool, shaded spot.
Okay, so let's dive into those 3 biggest factors you mentioned, the ones that decide between 6 years and 18 years. What's number 1?
Number 1 is depth of discharge, or DOD. Basically, how empty you let the battery get.
So running it right down to 0 is bad.
It really accelerates wear and tear on the cells. Keeping a buffer, like a 10 or even 20% reserve, helps them age much more gracefully.
And there's a stat on this, right? Something about the cost per cycle.
Yeah, it's a rough estimate. Obviously, it depends on the battery cost, but one way to think about it is that every full 100% discharge cycle could effectively cost you around $412 in lifespan depreciation on a typical system.
Wow. So if you do that daily,
you could be burning through like $1,500 a year just in accelerated battery wear. We heard about Mark in Phoenix needed a $12,000 replacement after only 5 years.
Ouch. Okay, so avoid deep drains. Got it. What's number 2?
Temperature. As we touched on, batteries really don't like extreme heat. Anything consistently over, say, 86 Fahrenheit or 30 Celsius, that really speeds up the chemical aging process.
And cold is bad too.
Freezing temperatures, yeah, they don't damage it the same way heat does, but they can definitely reduce the amount of power you can get out of it temporarily. Heat is the bigger long-term killer, though.
Oh, and the third factor?
That's the charge and discharge rate, how fast you push power in or pull it out.
So like flooring it versus gentle acceleration.
Exactly. Rapidly charging or discharging at the maximum possible power. Yeah. Think of some of those VPP events, virtual power plant programs, where the grid asks for a sudden burst of energy.
Right.
That puts more stress on the cells compared to a slower, gentler overnight charge or a steady discharge during the evening peak.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, what about those warranties? Tesla, Enphase, Franklin. They sound good on paper. 10, 15 years?
They do, and the hardware itself is often pretty solid. Tesla Powerwall 3, that's 10 years, unlimited cycles for most home use, aiming for 70% capacity at year 10. It's usually a whole unit swap if needed. Enphase IQ Battery 5P offers 15 years or 6,000 cycles, whichever comes first, and they aim for 80% capacity. It's modular, which is nice.
Meaning you can replace just one part if it fails.
Potentially, yes. And Franklin WH's A-Power 2 is similar. 15 years or a specific energy throughput, 60 megawatt hours, also aiming for 70% capacity, and also modular.
But here's where you said it gets tricky. The hidden details.
Yeah. This is important. We've seen cases like Tesla reportedly denied a few warranty claims this year, said it was improper installation, even though certified installers did the job. So documentation is key. And with Enphase's 15-year warranty, which sounds amazing, the labor to actually swap a faulty part might only be covered for the first 2 years. After that, you could be looking at a, $2,000 surprise bill just for the labor.
Oof. So always ask about labor and shipping coverage, not just the part's warranty duration.
Always ask.
So what actually happens when a battery starts failing? Does it just die one day?
Rarely. It's usually not a sudden death. It's more of a gradual fade. That capacity just shrinks over time.
Yeah.
Your 13.5 kilowatt-hour Powerwall might realistically only store, say, 11 kilowatt-hours after 7 or 8 years of use.
So you notice less backup time, or it doesn't cover your evening usage like it used to?
Exactly. You might also start seeing specific error codes pop up in the app, or maybe the battery just refuses to charge all the way up or discharge all the way down to its limit. Complete electronic failure is pretty uncommon, though.
And replacement costs if you're out of warranty, or if only a module fails?
It varies a lot. Replacing a single module, if your system allows it, might be around $3,000. But replacing a whole out-of-warranty Powerwall could easily be over $9,000.
Wow. You mentioned Brenda in Houston.
Yeah, tough story. She earned maybe $1,200 from participating in VPP events over a few years, which sounds great. But then her battery needed a full $15,000 replacement well before she expected. So that VPP income didn't come close to covering the accelerated wear, resulting in a big net loss for her.
That's a cautionary tale. But then there's George in San Diego.
Right, a contrasting example. He has 2 Enphase IQ 5Ps, but he cycles them pretty lightly, mostly just for evening use, not deep discharges daily. After 3 years, his system's still showing 94% of its original capacity. It really highlights how much usage patterns matter.
Okay, we've laid out the challenges, the potential costs, the warranty nuances. Let's make a quick pause. When we come back, the good news, 5 practical steps you can take right now to help your battery last longer. Stay with us.
All right, we're back on SolarScoop. We've talked about the things that can shorten your battery life, sometimes drastically. Now, the crucial part, what can you do about it? We've got 5 pretty straightforward habits and settings. Getting these right could genuinely extend your battery's life, maybe saving you that potential $10,000 replacement cost if you're aiming for closer to 18 years instead of, say, 8. What's number 1?
Okay, number 1, and this is probably the easiest win, optimize that discharge limit or reserve.
Right, preventing those deep drains we talked about.
Exactly. So if you have the Tesla app, go find the setting, usually called backup reserve, and set it to 20%.
20%, okay. If you're using the Enphase app, you're looking for a setting that might be called charge mode or similar, and you want to set the minimum discharge level, often by setting the usable capacity limit effectively, to maybe 80% usable, which leaves 20% in reserve. Basically, tell the system not to drain below 20%.
Got it. Leave 20% in the tank. What's number 2?
Keep it cool. We talked about heat being a killer. So installation location matters. Shaded spots, well-ventilated areas are best.
Like a garage wall that doesn't get direct sun.
Ideally, yeah. Or even better, sometimes inside a utility room if codes allow. In really hot climates like Arizona or Texas, even providing a little bit of mild air conditioning near the battery in the peak of summer can make a surprising difference to longevity.
Makes sense. Protect your investment. Number 3.
Gentle cycling. Basically, avoid constantly charging or discharging at the absolute maximum power your system can handle unless you really need to, like during an outage.
So for daily use, slower is generally better for the battery's health.
Yeah, think slow and steady wins the race. Most systems manage this okay on their standard modes, but just be mindful if you're constantly forcing max charge or discharge rates manually or through certain grid programs.
Okay. Number 4.
Stay updated. Install those firmware updates when the manufacturer pushes them out. It seems simple, but they often contain really important tweaks to the battery management system, how it charges, discharges, balances cells.
Better algorithms over time.
Exactly. They learn more about optimizing the chemistry as the fleet ages, and they roll those improvements into software. So keep it updated.
Good tip. And number 5.
Monitor performance. Just, keep an eye on things, check your app occasionally, look at the trends and how much energy it's storing compared to when it was new. Watch for any persistent error codes.
Catching problems early.
Right. Sometimes an early intervention, maybe prompted by an error code you report, can fix a minor issue before it develops into something that requires a major, costly replacement.
Okay, those 5 tips seem very actionable. Set reserve to 20%, keep it cool, gentle cycling, update firmware, and monitor.
That's the core of it. And, if your battery's getting old and tired after, say, 10 or 12 years, there's no shame in looking at replacement or maybe adding capacity. Battery costs have been coming down and incentives change. Sometimes adding a fresh module, if your system is modular, can be a cost-effective way to restore your backup time.
Or if your needs change, like you get an electric car.
Exactly. If your load grows, or maybe you decide you do want to participate more heavily in VPP events now that you understand the trade-offs, adding a newer additional battery could make sense and actually improve your overall return on investment.
So wrapping this up, what's the big picture takeaway? If you take reasonable care, set things up right, what can people realistically expect?
Look, with reasonable care and, importantly, reasonably favorable conditions, meaning not baking in extreme heat constantly, most people should probably expect to get a solid 10 to 15 years out of a modern home battery.
That's a pretty good lifespan.
It is, and with careful management, especially with some of the newer chemistries like LFT, lithium iron phosphate, which tend to be a bit more robust, you might even push that further. But those settings and habits are key.
So the crucial point seems to be, your battery is aging right now, every day. Waiting to optimize those settings, well, it could literally be costing you money and lost lifespan.
Absolutely. Don't wait. Maybe even screenshot those 5 tips we discussed. Go into your app today or tomorrow and just check those settings. It takes minutes.
Excellent advice. And of course, if you want personalized guidance, maybe figuring out the optimal settings for your specific usage, your climate, or if you're just starting to explore solar and storage. The team over at Integrate Sun, they live and breathe this stuff. The experts in designing and optimizing systems to make sure your investment really works for you long term.
Definitely we're reaching out.
Well, that brings us to the end of this deep dive on SolarScoop. Hopefully this gives you the knowledge you need to extend your battery's life and really maximize its value. Thanks for tuning in.